There was one time I was in the park and I was with another friend and she wears a hijab, and a gang of guys came up and they started throwing stones at us and telling us stuff about Islam. They went past us on their bikes and pulled her hijab.
Myself and my cousin, we got hopped by like 20 people. My cousin got hit in the eye with a tree branch and he lost his eyesight. You can't see now with his eye.
I was very much a tomboy. I liked to skateboard. I liked hanging out with guys. A girl hanging out with guys, it seemed like I'm a slut. It just sucks that I couldn't really be myself without people having assumptions about who I was.
I never really even believed in God. I was working in the barbershop and I was meeting a lot of Muslims. I'd be asking them all these different questions. It just made sense in my head, and then I just finally decided like I might as well just jump into it.
In school, I can't eat pork. So like there's jokes around that. And obviously during Ramadan, they just wouldn't understand why can't you have pork. And I have to explain to them, it's because I'm a Muslim.
So my name is Yusuf Shushan. I was born and raised in Ireland. My mother's Irish, my dad's from Libya. I have both sides, like I have my mother and my dad. So I got to see both sides of the culture. My mum taught me about the Irish culture, but as a Muslim child. I went to Muslim National School. Everyone there was kind of from the same background. Decided to start my own little business to keep myself busy. And I seen a little gap in the market, tested out a few recipes at home, and then came up with the secret recipe for the cookie dough, which was the best seller here.
I grew up doing art from a very young age. It comes naturally to me. I think it might have been the fact that I was so quiet and that I didn't communicate a lot with people. Art was a way of me just bringing something out. And that's how I developed the skill of being able to paint. I can look at something and then bring it directly onto like the canvas.
Basically, as a Christian, I was trying to think of what I really believed in. And I just thought, what's the most likely part of religion that I can go into and then I won't regret it? I just done some research after that, you know. For the first time ever, I started looking into religion and seeing it not as like something that you have to study, but something that you do for yourself. And when I looked into that, I came straight to Islam.
Professionally, I started filmmaking 5.5 years ago, but I always wanted to be a part of film when I was a kid. That was something always there. I loved movies. I started to record and take pictures of everything. But I got more professionally into it when I moved to Dublin. I wanted to really pursue filmmaking, and I went to film school. And after that, I pushed myself more for outside experience.
Learning to cut hair is very exciting because you wake up every day like, yeah, I want to cut more hair, get as much experience as possible, and just keep learning as much as possible. Like, bro, I never close the shop.
Yeah, try nothing then.
Like, if you want to take the day off, because I know you need that bank holiday to rest.
Oh, get away, you man. You know the work, man, no. I'll see you Monday, so yeah?
Yeah, bro, I look after you with cash on Monday, yeah?
Yeah, it's great.
Supreme Cuts has been open since late 2021. Loads of clientele, 5 barbers, nearly every day, busy. Everyone's making money, everyone's happy. More time it feels like I haven't really done anything. It doesn't feel like I've done anything really exceptional or anything that I should be amazed at. Like, I still look at it and be like, oh, okay, there's still so much more to do.
The first initial thing that got me into lifting was just videos. I watched videos of guys going from this big obese guy, now he has muscles, you know, he's made this incredible transformation. That inspired me. After a year, I made my first video, which was a transformation video. That was more to inspire people and show people like what I done, and if I can do it, then anybody else can do it. Like, I'm no different from this other fat guy who's trying to lose weight and build muscle. From there, I got like a load of comments. A lot of people loved the videos. They were curious, what do you do in the gym? Like, how do you build this physique?
My name is Ayuba Salaudin. I've been living in Ireland for 15 years. And I run a vintage shop called Tall Vintage. I've always been really into clothing. So we have 4 shops. We start off with this one in Temple Bar. So we have 2 in Temple Bar. We have 1 on Dame Street and we have 1 on Angel Street. They're a little bit different.
myself and my friend, we started Al Kawthar about a year and a half ago. The reason why it began was because the West is not used to it. They're used to their overpriced alcohol-based perfumes. They're less concentrated and they're a lot more expensive. This is a lot cheaper and it's the proper pure stuff. So we thought it was a really, really good opportunity. Prophet Muhammad used to love perfume. It's something that is really, really important in Islam. It's important for us to go to the mosque and smell good for the spouse, when you're going to the mosque, when going out, for the events. Since I'm not working 9 to 5, I have to provide for myself. So it's Al Kawthar and a clothing brand, and I'm trying to work with Amazon soon, inshallah. Just to keep something going whilst I concentrate on, giving da'wah, learning more about Islam, making events for the Muslims, making events for non-Muslims as well, inshallah.
I never really even believed in God. Like, then when I moved to Dublin, I went to college, I was working in the barber shop and I was meeting a lot of different people, Christians and Muslims. And this was a surprise to me because back where I grew up in Laois, people were not into religion like that. It was almost like religion was thought of, it's like an old thing, it's for old people, it's a thing of the past. Once I found God, I just believed in God. I didn't really subscribe to anything. But when I was in college, I got to talk to lots of different Muslim people. From there, even in the shop, I'd just be asking people about it. Any Muslim people I knew, I'll be asking them all these different questions, and I even went and did my own research. The pieces just started to come together, realistically. It just made sense in my head, and then I just finally decided, to be honest, I might as well just jump into it. I don't think my sister's mind, but my mom's probably not too happy about it, not too welcoming. It's a bit disappointing, because obviously you want your parents to support the decisions that you make in life, and there's not much I can do. I know that I'm making the right decision for my life, and I'm making the right decision that's gonna be better for me and better for my future family.
The problems that I thought I was going to have telling people that I'm Muslim and introducing Islam to them went away because it taught me a lot about how to act and how to deliver messages across to people. They didn't know what was going to happen, do you get me? They didn't know if they'd walk in one day and see me doing something mad, do you know what I mean? At the start it wasn't I'm become Muslim, everything's changing. You have to understand how to talk to people and communicate with them in a soft manner. If I didn't learn about Islam and I told them I'd become Muslim, I would have acted off emotion. Things like that I learned actually helped me as well. Otherwise, it would have been even more difficult. And then when they see you're doing that because of Islam, then it opens up their mind even more to Alhamdulillah.
My mother was openly Muslim. There's no way to hide the hijab. She wore the headscarf openly and she practiced openly. There was a lot of hate, a lot of anger, a lot of ignorance. We were the only Muslim people on the block. You can't hide a headscarf, and that's a symbol of faith. It's a symbol of belief in religion.
I was really close to my mom. My mom was always my close friend. When I was in 5th class, I got the talk, and that was when my mom was like, when you hit puberty, you're gonna have to start wearing that scarf. The best time to do that is when you go to a secondary school where you're gonna have new classmates, you're gonna have new teachers, the environment is new, so might as well just come in with that. But I started wearing it the first day of secondary school. I always was happy being a Muslim. My parents were very open. They made me understand everything. They would sit down and explain things to me rather than just be oh, you have to do this and you have to do that.
One time I was in the park and I was with another friend and she wears a hijab, and a gang of guys came up and they started throwing stones at us and telling us stuff about Islam, really harassing us. They went past us on their bikes and pulled her hijab. I know when I was younger, I was a bit of a hothead. So I'd get into a lot of fights because of that. But as I grew older, I was it's not worth it anymore.
As a kid, you'd feel a bit left out when it comes to Halloween, Christmas, these type of events. Other friends, they have their confirmations and stuff like that. From a young age, my mother taught me the differences. And then we had Eid. My mum would make sure that we get our presents on Eid and that we're looked after on Eid, so that you don't feel like you're left out. She would tell us that we've got 2 Eids rather than just one Christmas, so sometimes we thought we were actually better off.
I feel like growing up in Ireland, where it's more Western society, kind of takes you off track. Islam, it's kind of taking you away, and that kind of gave me more of a reason to stay on Islam, so I have to do more to stay on track.
There was a time in my life where I got away from my religion. Back home, my family was very practicing of their religion. So coming here, it was a challenge for me to continue, especially in college. I was working and managing my day-to-day, miscellaneous tasks like cooking, laundry, and all that stuff.
I knew getting into Camogie, I would be the only Muslim person playing. I knew that would stand out a lot. I wouldn't wear the skirts that the girls would have because they would be too inappropriate as a Muslim woman. So I ended up playing in joggers. My teammates that go like to me, "Oh, come out, drink with us, it'll be fun," and all that. I always have to say, "Oh, sorry, I can't," because I'm Muslim.
People know I'm Muslim, especially in school. I can't eat pork, so like there's jokes around that. And obviously during Ramadan, they just wouldn't understand why can't you have pork, and I have to explain to them it's because I'm a Muslim.
Oh, you're German?
Yeah, my dad is
Kuwait is its own culture. I don't think I realized how different it is to the rest of the world. There wasn't really a community for me there to explore and to grow. The one thing I had a hard time growing up is like feeling accepted. I was very much a tomboy. I liked to skateboard. I liked hanging out with guys. A girl hanging out with guys, it seemed like I'm a slut. It just sucks that I couldn't really be myself without people having assumptions about who I was. The minute I got here, everyone was much more welcoming. Immediately, like, let's go to the cinema to see this movie. Let's go to this art exhibit. There's a community here, which I wasn't used to.
The first pill I popped, ecstasy, was at the age of 13. I was intoxicated with the deception of this lifestyle. We used to sell drugs. One day we got set up, myself and my cousin. My cousin got hit in the eye with a tree branch and he lost his eyesight. We got hopped by like 20 people. I broke my jaw and I broke my nose. My cousin was hospitalized. You can't see now with his eye. You get me? After that, it made me realize, imagine I died. What did I gain from my life? Because of how deep I was in that lifestyle, it was really difficult for me just to get away from it just like that.
When you see people who are taking Islam serious, like, and they're on their deen and stuff like that, they're successful, they're happy, they have family, they have friends. That's what kind of drew me to it. I lived all right, yeah, but I just had like a lot of bad habits, probably hung around the wrong people, and that obviously has an impact on you, you get me? So I wanted to steer my life away from that. Once you have Islam there, like, it can help you to like stay consistent and stay disciplined. So all the Muslim brothers, when they come in, they're all very happy and all very welcoming to the religion. Like, they're all very gassed for me. I'm just taking it like step by step, because obviously I know there's a lot to it. So I'm not going to be able to like switch overnight. Everything that I've heard with Islam and everything that I've talked to with people, it makes sense to me. I don't disagree with it, I agree with it. So like, I trust the fact that the further I dive into this, like, I'm going to agree with it, and it's going to fit my lifestyle.
I learned so much over the 5.5 years with all types of people. I've been working with the same types of people like for the last 5.5 years. I'm never going to stop doing that. It's a love, it's a passion.
I think Ireland have always been welcoming, but obviously there's moments of whereby people get annoyed as well, which is understandable. I feel like there's moments of like, oh, maybe someone's yet to take our job, but then over time they've realized that there's no one actually yet to take your job. It's almost like whoever's best for the job would be employed for the job.
Still boxing now. I stopped for a long time. Like, I do it for the enjoyment of myself. I like to train others and help others. I'd love to win like a world title or something like this, but at the end of the day, I know it's Allah's will. And at the end of the day, these aren't the things that get me going in the morning, or they're not the things that upset me either. It's just a part of life, a part of this dunya while I'm going through it. And if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen.
The most difficult situations are the ones that make you the strongest. Inna amruhu kulluhu khair. Everything that happens to him is good. And whatever happened to you is Allah's plan. We trust Allah's plan, and it's the better for us. And he says, if good happens to him, he's thankful and he's appreciative for the blessing of Allah, and he gets rewarded. There's a hadith where Rasulullah told Abdullah ibn Abbas, he told him, Ya ghulam, oh young man, I will teach you certain things. He told him, Ihfadillah yahfadhk. Remember Allah, Allah will remember you. Ihfadillah tajidhu tujahak. Remember Allah, you'll find Allah in your direction. If you ask, only ask Allah. And if you seek help, only seek help from Allah. And know that if all of humanity came together to benefit you, they cannot benefit you except in something Allah written for you. And if all of them came to harm you, they cannot harm you except in something Allah has written against you. The pens were lifted and the ink has dried. And he says, know that whatever hit you was never supposed to miss you. And whatever missed you was never supposed to hit you.